Welcome back to the shop, everybody. I got my 1994 F-250 in here. When my Dodge diesel melted a piston, I had to start looking for a different truck and think of what I thought would be the perfect truck for me. So I started hunting for a Ford F-350 with a 460 big block Ford. I also wanted a Dana 60 front end and a ZF5 5-speed transmission. This has the big block Ford. That's it. So we need to put a Dana 60 front end and do a 5-speed swap. So for this video, we're going to do the Dana 60, get rid of the TTB twin traction beam Dana 50 front end. Let me show you that first. So, if you don't know what a twin traction beam is, you have two separate axles, essentially, with a pivot point right here in the middle. So this is one piece, and then from here, the pivot, to here is one piece. And it allows it to pivot in the middle, which essentially was like independent front suspension. And we're going to get rid of that and put a set of F-350 leaf springs in here and a Dana 60. Let me show you the Dana 60. Here's a look at the Dana 60. This is out of a 94. We're going to get it cleaned up. Here's what it looks like after about 15 minutes. Gotta get this knuckle over here some more. Remove the caliper. But you can see, it's gonna clean up real nice. Not a lot of pitting or anything in this axle. A lot of them I see. This thing is rotted completely off. And you know, the C's and everything are all pitted up really bad. So this one's in really good shape. That works really good for cleaning the tubes. And I just used a wire wheel to get in there. All right, I had to move it over the hoist to get it up in the air. It was just too difficult to get in there and get all the spots cleaned. So that's about as good as it's gonna get for now until we start disassembling it. And as we disassemble it, we'll get into some of these tighter spots and get stuff cleaned up when we do U-joints and things like that. We also have to re-gear this axle. It is a 355 and I have a set of 410s to go in here that'll match my truck. So I'm gonna spray this with tractor paint. Same thing I used on my Jeep axles, and it holds up really well, and it's got some sort of rust bonding stuff in there, and we're not worried about these backing plates or anything like that. I have good ones on my Dana 50, and I'll be able to use those on here. So we're not worried about this stuff. All this has to come off. I just want to work on something clean and get the dirty part out of the way, and we'll clean up the rest of the way. So let's get some paint going. Oh man, doesn't that look so much better? That looks a ton better. And this tractor paint holds up for quite a long time. Look at that. Dana. You can see all my part numbers back here on the back side. $1993, the housing was casted. Nice and clean. Be a lot nicer handling this, disassembling it, re-gearing it. Not too bad. Looks like it might have had a little moisture in it by the color. Everyone can smell this at this moment, I'm sure. Let's do this. There we go. Good. Yeah, see, a little bit of rust in the top of the cover there from sitting. We'll have to make sure we clean that up. That's what the moisture does. 4613. So this is a 355 gear ratio. See that right there? 46 on the ring, 13 on the pinion. 355. Come over here to my extremely dirty 410 gears. You can see right there has 41 on the ring, 10 on the pinion. These are used gears, been sitting on my shop floor. They were coated with grease, so that's why everything's stuck to them, but they'll clean up just fine. We'll throw those in there. We'll have 410 gears in this Dana 60. think someone gave up and didn't take that off. We also have new dust shields for our brakes. Wow. Okay. I don't know about. We're gonna use all our old components. Man, look at that. Dana 60 shaft. Oh yeah. Very nice. Okay. A little bit of rust in the tubes. That's all right. Knuckles look good. Threads look good. Get all this cleaned up real nice. So our Dana 50 are the same as these spindles. So we'll put our Dana 50 ones on here, which we know are in good shape. I have 2 sets to choose from. That put up a fight. See the markup compound. We have a good pattern. We've got good backlash. I was just getting ready to put some right stuff on here and put the cover back on. I think I have other videos, I'm not sure, maybe I don't, of setting up the gears. This will be my, well, this is a new year, I guess. I did a Dana 60 last year, 14 volt, Dana 30, and a 9-inch Ford, all last year. Just take your time, follow the specs. Sometimes it can be a pain in the butt. You end up taking the carrier in and out. Shoot, with one Dana 60, it was probably 10-15 times I took that out. I got a set of setup bearings for Dana 60 where they're honed out a little bit, so you can slip them on the carrier and take them on and off. They get you really close anyway, and then you press on your new bearings, and it's usually really close to where it needs to be. Okay, it's a good coat of right stuff. Wipe off all the excess. There we go. We'll add oil once I get the axles back in. Okay. Today's a new day. Lots of in and out with the vehicles and moving stuff around. I have to figure out how we want to tackle this, being that there's this pivot point here. It's bolted to the cross member on both sides, actually, here and here. So them have to come off regardless. And then maybe at that point I will just do the U-bolts and drop the axle out. We'll do leaf springs last. I think that's going to be the best way to tackle this. So 2 bolts back here, 2 bolts right here, and then the U-bolts. I've pre-lubricated everything the best I could to try to make this as easy as possible. So I guess we'll get the wheels off. We'll lower the truck up and down a bunch of times as we're trying to maneuver this around so the axle isn't completely crashing to the floor. Yeah, so let's go. All right, so we got the axle on jack stands, got most of these pivot bolts loose, almost backed all the way out. This one's kind of rounded off. Only can use an open end. Don't know what's gonna happen as this starts coming out of here. I have a feeling this pivot is going to come straight down. Which that's probably not a good thing. So it's going to end up falling apart into 2 pieces basically. I do not want that pivot to hit my oil pan. I don't know. I really, honestly do not know how this comes apart. But we're gonna find out. Starting to get close. Make sure I'm staying back. I'm in the clear. I think I should bring the truck up a little bit, bring a little tension off of this. That might keep the axle wanting to stay in the upward position. I need some rags. Got grease. Oh yeah, it's bolt sideways, so it's either gonna shoot up or it's gonna shoot down. I'm hoping it goes up into that bracket and not come flying down. Which way is this trying to go? Man. Free? Yeah, that's all the way down. I go around on the back side, pull the other one out. Actually, let's use this impact. Okay. Both pivots are free. So now, if I undo the U-bolts, this thing's just gonna fall apart. So I'm gonna take almost all of the U-bolts off, leave them loose, lift the truck up, remove the jack stands, lower the truck back down, remove the remainder of the U-bolts. Brake lines are unhooked, U-bolts are unhooked, drive shaft is unhooked. The tie rod end where the pitman is. Let's go up, see what happens. That's probably high enough. Bring it down to the locks. Okay, we're on the locks. Axle is out. Axle is out. Definitely not one of the easy things to do. The way this thing is in two pieces. Definitely a finger pincher if you're not careful. Sway bar have to be undone yet because it connects to the bottoms of the U-bolt plates, which we do not have on the other truck. We'll worry about that when we get there. So here's the two pivot pieces. I have to remove those next. They're not going to be needed. Okay, there's the two pivot brackets unbolted that were up here. So those are gone. There's 3 bolt holes here. See, I was using that one and that one. And then this third one that's already there is where our track bar factory mount will go. It was like, you know, this truck was set up for it. Basically, F350 and a 250 are the same truck with different axles and different front springs. So we'll be reusing those holes. So now, gotta remove the leaf springs. Hopefully those bushings are not rusted to those bolts. I'll be able to get them out. I've been lubricating them pretty well. Let's find out, because we have brand new F350 leaf springs to go with our Dana 60. Well, that was super simple. They came right out. Look how good this bolt looks. For being inside that spring since 1994. We'll anti-seize. Yeah, it's 10.9 factory bolt. We will anti-seize it and put it back in our new bushing. Get them hung in place. Look how nice that mount looks. We just need to clean up this frame, make it look just as good. All right, we're gonna call it a day. The axle's out. I went to put in the new leaf springs and they shipped me the wrong ones. They were 3 inches longer than what I needed. So, they'll be here Wednesday. Today is Thursday. So, all weekend, truck's gonna look like this. But, we can take our backing plates, spindles, everything off this Dana 50 and get them put on our Dana 60 and the good brake rotors and everything like that installed and lugs, and so I at least have something to work on over the weekend, and we'll get it together. Waiting on wrong parts. Hopefully these ones will be the correct ones. See you tomorrow. Front end alignment. I forgot I could do it before I put the axle in. We have 1/8 inch toe in. Passenger sides in, all bolted up, the shocks bolted. One thing I did have to do on both of these leaf springs was trim the pin that goes into the axle just a little bit. If you stuck it on here without it being trimmed, it pushed against the axle tube and wouldn't allow the spring to seat all the way in the perch. Here's the part number for the springs. It's upside down. It's 43498. 43498. Power 10. Brakes are on, greased. Throw the tires on. Get it sitting on the ground. Well, bolt up the drive shaft. Get it sitting on the ground. Vent tube. We'll see if the height has changed. Was 36 inches. Now we are 38.5. All right, that's it. The axle's in, new steering, drag link. We got a little adjustment to do on the drag link. We'll do that after we drive it a little bit, make sure we got everything straight. So we'll do that. We're going to have to add lift blocks to the rear. You can see it raised it 2.5 inches in the front. So a factory Ford F-250 comes with 2-inch blocks. Pretty sure it's 2-inch. And a factory F-350 comes with a 4-inch block. So if we do that, that should even it out. And we'll probably have some settling in the front. So it should even out, be sitting just like a regular F-350 from 1994. Total cost, $700 for the axle. Little over $400 for the springs. And paint, I already had the ring and pinion, so that cost is not included. We're looking at about $1,300 total for this project. Something I wanted to do. Now the next step will be 5-speed swap. Thanks for watching.